Summary of Sonnet 30. When to the Sessions of Sweet Silent Thought by William Shakespeare. In Shakespeare's Sonnet 30, the speaker reflects on the emotional weight of memory, grief, and loss, but finds solace in the thought of a dear friend. The sonnet captures the contrast between sorrow and comfort, balancing personal reflection on past regrets and the healing power of friendship. The sonnet opens with the speaker engaging in sessions of sweet silent thought, a meditative state where they recall past experiences. The phrase evokes a court-like setting where the speaker summons memories for reflection, akin to a trial of their own emotions. As they do so, they sigh over the unfulfilled desires and ambitions, the lack of many a thing I sought. These reflections are not merely wistful but painful, as they lead the speaker to new wail over wasted time and past sorrows, represented by the old woes that now cause fresh tears. The sonnet continues with the speaker grieving over precious friends hid in death's dateless night, which emphasizes the timeless, unchangeable nature of death. The speaker weeps afresh over losses that were previously mourned, showing how the pain of grief can be recurring, as though it is felt anew. The imagery of moaning over vanished sights reflects how memories of the past can be both vivid and painful, despite their fading over time. In the second quatrain, the speaker reveals how this cycle of grief deepens, as they grieve at grievances foregone and tally up their woe to woe, as though recounting debts of sorrow. This repetition of emotional pain emphasizes how past regrets and losses are continually relived, creating a sad account of past suffering. The phrase "which I knew pay as if not paid before" highlights the idea that these emotional debts seem never-ending, as if they were unpaid and must be repaid over and over again. However, the sonnet takes a turn with the final couplet. When the speaker thinks of their dear friend, the sorrows vanish and all losses are restored. The friend's presence in the speaker's thoughts serves as a source of emotional healing, negating the pain that had previously overwhelmed them. This dramatic shift from despair to comfort suggests that personal connections, particularly friendship, have the power to transform one's emotional state and provide peace in times of grief. The theme of memory and grief dominates the poem, as the speaker's recollections lead them into a cycle of sorrow over past losses. Yet, the ultimate theme is the redemptive power of friendship, which can restore balance and provide emotional relief. The contrast between mourning and consolation reflects Shakespeare's exploration of the human experience of loss, love, and emotional renewal. The rhythm and meter of Sonnet 30 are characteristic of the Shakespearean sonnet, written in iambic pentameter. Each line typically contains 10 syllables, with an unstressed syllable followed by a stressed one, creating a da-dum rhythm. This steady meter mirrors the speaker's reflective, contemplative tone. For example, the line "I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought" follows this pattern, emphasizing certain words and reinforcing the flow of thought. Structurally, the sonnet follows the Shakespearean form, composed of 3 quatrains and a concluding couplet. The quatrains develop the speaker's emotional state through a sequence of reflections on grief, while the couplet provides the resolution. The rhyme scheme is a bab cd cd ff gg, and the closing couplet delivers a surprising emotional shift, typical of Shakespeare's sonnets, where the final 2 lines resolve or comment on the themes explored in the previous quatrains. Sonnet 30 masterfully blends themes of grief, loss, and the healing power of friendship within the traditional structure of a Shakespearean sonnet. Its rhythmic flow and reflective tone allow readers to experience the speaker's deep emotional journey while also recognizing the profound impact that friendship can have in overcoming sorrow.
Line-by-line explanation, Sonnet 30, When to the Sessions of Sweet Silent Thought by William Shakespeare.
Line 1. When to the Sessions of Sweet Silent Thought. The poem begins with the speaker reflecting on moments of quiet introspection. The phrase "sessions" suggests a formal gathering, almost like a court session, where the speaker summons memories and past experiences. This silent thought indicates deep contemplation, where the speaker is alone with their reflections, allowing past events and emotions to resurface in their mind. Line 2. I summon up remembrance of things past. In this moment of quiet reflection, the speaker deliberately recalls memories from the past. The word summon is significant as it suggests that these memories are being actively called forth, as if the speaker is in control of this process. They are deliberately engaging with their personal history, bringing past events to mind for reflection. Line 3, I sigh the lack of many a thing I sought. As the speaker revisits these memories, they are overcome with regret. The phrase I sigh the lack conveys a sense of disappointment and sadness over the unfulfilled desires and goals they had pursued but never achieved. This line captures the essence of personal regret, where the speaker is burdened by what they have failed to accomplish. Line 4, and with old woes new wail my dear time's waste. The speaker's regret deepens as they lament wasted time. The phrase old woes refers to previous sorrows that are brought back into focus, now causing fresh emotional pain. The speaker mourns over the waste of time, indicating that the past years feel misspent, as if they have failed to make the most of their opportunities. Line 5, then can I drown an eye, Eunice to flow? At this point, the speaker admits to crying, despite it being unusual for them. The eye that is Eunice to flow suggests that the speaker is not prone to tears, but the depth of their sorrow forces them to express their emotions through tears. This line highlights the speaker's vulnerability as they confront the weight of their grief. Line 6, for precious friends hid in death's stateless night. The speaker's grief is partly due to the loss of friends who have died. The phrase death's stateless night evokes a sense of eternity and timelessness, as the friends are now hidden away in the darkness of death, beyond the reach of time. This image of death as a night with no end reinforces the permanence of the loss. Line 7, and weep afresh love's long since cancelled woe. As the speaker reflects on their losses, they find themselves crying again for old pains related to love. The long since cancelled woe refers to sorrows that had been resolved or put aside but are now felt anew. This line illustrates how grief can resurface unexpectedly, even when one believes they have moved past it. Line 8. And moan th expense of many a vanished sight. The speaker mourns not only the loss of loved ones but also the loss of experiences, people, and moments from the past. The expense refers to the emotional cost of these losses, and the vanished sight symbolizes the things that have disappeared from the speaker's life. This line conveys the idea that these experiences are gone, never to be recovered. Line 9, then can I grieve at grievances foregone? Here, the speaker confesses that they grieve over old sorrows that they have already mourned. The phrase grievances foregone suggests that these are past complaints or heartaches, but the speaker is still emotionally attached to them, experiencing the pain again. Line 10. And heavily from woe to woe tell o'er. The speaker's sorrow is relentless as they recount one grief after another. The phrase from woe to woe suggests that the speaker is moving through a series of painful memories, each adding to the burden of sorrow. The word heavily reinforces the weight of these emotions, making the act of recalling them a difficult process. Line 11. The sad account of four bemoaned moan. In this line, the speaker compares their sorrow to an account, a ledger of all the past complaints and laments. The four bemoaned moan refers to the cries and mourning that the speaker has already expressed in the past. It is as if the speaker is tallying up all of their emotional debts, reviewing the sadness they have already endured. Line 12. Which I knew pay as if not paid before. Although these sorrows have already been experienced and expressed, the speaker feels as if they must pay for them again. The emotional debt of grief feels fresh, as though it has never been settled. This line emphasizes the cyclical nature of grief, where the speaker must continually relive the pain as if for the first time. Line 13. But if the while I think on thee, dear friend. The tone shifts in this line as the speaker introduces the thought of a dear friend. In contrast to the previous lines of sorrow and grief, the memory of this friend brings hope and comfort. The phrase if the while I think on thee signals a moment of relief from the speaker's emotional burden. Line 14. All losses are restored, and sorrows end. The sonnet concludes on a hopeful note, as the speaker finds that all their past losses and sorrows are restored and end when they think of their friend. The friend's memory provides emotional healing, undoing the pain and grief that had weighed down the speaker throughout the poem. This final line emphasizes the redemptive power of friendship and human connection, suggesting that personal bonds can bring peace even in the face of deep sorrow. In summary, Shakespeare's Sonnet 30 is a meditation on memory, loss, and the comforting power of friendship. The speaker moves through cycles of regret and grief, revisiting old wounds and wasted time, but ultimately finds solace in the thought of a dear friend, which makes all losses seem restored and all sorrows disappear.
About the poet. William Shakespeare was born on April 23, 1564, in Stratford-upon-Avon, England. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest playwrights and poets in the English language. Shakespeare's body of work includes 39 plays, 154 sonnets, and 2 long narrative poems. His plays, such as Hamlet, Romeo and Juliet, Macbeth, and Othello, are celebrated for their exploration of complex human emotions, universal themes, and masterful use of language. He was also a brilliant innovator, contributing significantly to the development of drama, including both tragedy and comedy. Shakespeare's works have been translated into numerous languages and are performed around the world, making him one of the most influential literary figures in history. He was part of the London theatre scene and co-owned the Globe Theatre. He died on April 23, 1616, leaving behind a timeless legacy that continues to inspire and shape literature today.
Hope we summarized it fully and you liked it. Please hit the like button and subscribe to our channel so that we are motivated to create more videos.